What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I hear a lot of people talking about Miguel Cotto's next move, and that's good. It's good for him and his career. He's basically resurfaced, rejuvenated his career, and he has people talking after his performance against Sergio Martinez. I've done several videos. Some people were asking me what I personally want, and I'm going to explain that in my video, in this video. Me personally, some people are leaning towards a Floyd Mayweather fight. I seen it. I don't mind seeing it, but 9 times out of 10, if you have a great match that is a fresh match that I've never seen versus a rematch, more often than not, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to take that fresh match. So for me personally, I would rather see Miguel Cotto and Canelo. That's my number one pick. Or even Miguel Cotto versus Triple G. My number one pick, bar none, is Canelo and Miguel Cotto. It's just it. Because especially if Cotto, or excuse me, if Canelo looks good against Laura coming up, I mean, Puerto Rico versus Mexico historically have given us great fights. But the Floyd Mayweather fight's still there. Floyd has a couple more fights left, 3 fights or whatever, till his retirement. I've already seen it. So I think other fights can be made. That's just my honest opinion. Triple G, some people are gunning for that. I'm not like a huge fan of the fight because I'm afraid for Cotto because I like Cotto a lot. And some people are like, oh, Triple G's a bum. He's never beaten anyone. That's fine and dandy, but I was one of the first channels that I recall telling you that Triple G is a problem. He's a solid fighter. He has a great amateur background. He has lethal power, and he could put things together. And he's staying active. This is one of the things that a lot of people fail to realize with Triple G. He's fighting bums, you could say, or guys that aren't A-list boxers, not world-class fighters. I agree with that. I don't think his resume is impressive by any stretch of the word. But look how he's getting out. And look how he's getting rid of these dudes. That now Daniel Gill, that's a credible name because Daniel Gill has some credible appearances. He's fought Felix Sturm. Daniel Gill fought Barker. That's a credible middleweight. So as long as Triple G starts moving the needle towards fighting more certified middleweights and more ranked opponents, I don't really have a problem with it. The Gill fight, I'm not too big up just because I don't think it's much competition. I would rather see Triple G go up in weight actually, as opposed to fighting Cotto or anybody else, Gill or anybody else at middleweight. Now, at one point, people were saying the only guy that could beat Triple G is Sergio Martinez. Now you had a guy who came up from a lower division, Miguel Cotto, and ran through him. So he's really out of the picture. I think he's done. He's an athletic fighter who no longer has his reflexes, and he doesn't look like the same fighter plagued with injuries. He's not beating Gennady Golovkin at this point of his career. So personally, I'd rather see Gennady Golovkin move up in weight. Some of you guys are gung-ho on Miguel Cotto and Triple G. Again, I'll watch the fight, but I'm a little bit worried because Cotto, to me, is not a true middleweight. And he did just beat a guy fair and square. A lot of people, including myself, thought he wasn't going to win, and he pulled it off. But he did beat a guy who was almost 40, coming off an injury. So that's a far cry from Triple G, who's undefeated, has this crazy power that people who have been fighting at 154 moving up or 160 can't deal with or can't handle. You know what I mean? Because he has fought some actual 160 pounders. And they can't deal with it. So it could be a banger. I'm open to the fight. It's not, I mean, some people are like, Ego, why are you ducking when things come about in boxing? I'm not ducking. I'm not the fighter. I'm not his trainer. So, number one on my list is Canelo and Cotto. I think that fight makes more sense. And that's a fight where everybody wins. The promoters win. I don't know if Top Rank would be involved because Cotto kind of works with them, but he's not signed to him or attached to him. I don't know if Bob Arum would play a part in that. But if that is the case, then that's good for boxing. A sign that the Cold War may eventually come to an end if they can work together, put on a major mega fight like that. And I just like the implications. I like what that suggests. If Canelo is coming off a Laura win, hypothetically, because that's still a tall order to beat Laura. Hypothetically, Laura's been calling. Well, this is real. Laura's been calling him out for years. So if he wins in a convincing fashion, then he has two solid 154-pound campaigns performances minus the Mayweather loss. So it'd be the Mayweather loss. He ran through Angulo, and depending on what he looks like against Laura, then you make the mega fight. I'm a fan in sport, especially in the sport of boxing. Strike while the iron's hot. If the fight is hot now, don't fucking wait, because you wait and then it's no longer relevant. Pacquiao Mayweather should have been happened. Now fighters look like they're not the same fighter, or it could have been a closer fight at one point. Now it doesn't look like it'll be the same fight. You have fights like Juanma Lopez versus Yuri Ortiz Gamboa. Now Gamboa's just disappeared into the abyss. We don't really hear from him. Now he's fighting Terrence Crawford. No one's really talking about him. No one's really excited about Yuri Ortiz Gamboa like they were when they were calling him Baby Tyson. And now Juanma Lopez seems pretty much done. He did beat Daniel Ponce de Leon via stoppage, but De Leon just quit, like just retired and shit. So that shows you where De Leon was at in his career. So I'm a fan of striking while the iron's hot. If you're gonna make the Gennady Golovkin fight, make it. I personally think Gennady should move up in weight, but a lot of people, you were asking me what I think. I'm okay with the fight. I think it's a dangerous, very dangerous fight for Cotto, because he still is smaller. And based on what happened in round one, that kind of set the whole tone for the whole event versus Sergio Martinez. Versus Triple G, I have a feeling it'll be a much longer night. And he's definitely going to have to work probably even harder, because he'd be dealing with, again, a power puncher who's technical, who has vicious body shots, who's bigger than him and younger than Sergio Martinez was. It's kind of like the Super Bowl. If you look at last year's Super Bowl, the Seahawks and the Broncos, it started off fucked up for the Broncos. The very first punt reception, they muffed it and got a safety, and that was their luck the whole Super Bowl. It was just bow, bow, bow. Whatever could go wrong for the Broncos went wrong, straight up, and they lost the Super Bowl. That's kind of what it was for Sergio Martinez. It was fun and it was good for Cotto's sake, just because he looked very sharp, but Sergio was off to a horrible start and he just never really recovered. His knee came into play, whatever the situation is. So that's my thoughts on Triple G versus Miguel Cotto. I'm okay with it, but I do think it's a risky and dangerous fight. But now Cotto's the lineal champion, so that's what you got to do when you are that, when you set history and you accomplish feats like that. People are going to try to get that strap off you, or those straps. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like the video. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.